I'd love to know too, if you can kind of speak on it. When you're telling these kids their story later on in life, during this counseling sessions, I'm assuming, do you find that that is healing to them, maybe giving them some closure? Or is that more often harmful that they'll have to continue working through? Is there like kind of a percentage there that you find?
It goes both ways. We've seen both. But usually, even though they go through the trauma counseling, it's Mama Carla. She's the one who's considered mom to 240 kids. Could you imagine that?
No.
She's the one that sits and says, okay, here's your file. Here are the pictures from the hospital. Here's what we know.
Wow.
Here are your circumstances. And she says, would you like to read it? And then they say yes.
Okay.
And they read it in front of her. And then she says, do you have any questions? And this one young man, he was brutally beaten. He had broken bones, and he saw the pictures, and he didn't have much memory of it because he had damage. But after, Carla was kind of bracing herself, like thinking, okay, how are we going to help this child? And she goes, well, do you have any questions? And he goes, wow, God must really love me to rescue me from that. Instead of thinking, oh, wow, it could have gone both ways, understandably.
Sure.
And to think that that's where he went just made my heart melt, because you can see the hope and restoration is happening. The second chance is already in process. And only God can heal that.
Yep.
I mean, only God can come in and do something about that, because that is just unfathomable to most of us.
He sees his future as an opportunity rather than a burden.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you're, like you said, the opposite way. It could have been like, why would he keep me alive? Or I haven't owned up to that responsibility of God keeping me alive. Instead, he's saying, I have so much to do with this life that God gave me.
Yes, I have a second chance. And it's when that spark hits and he's like, there's no stopping this child now.
That's really encouraging to hear that the kids do, go through with reading their own story, because I think, you and I know this, stories have power, and each person's story is individual to them. But I hope through this podcast that people start to realize how similar we all are in certain ways, and how much power our stories can have for other people as well that are going through similar situations. Think about how much power that kid will have for another kid that maybe comes in with a similar situation that maybe feels the opposite to him and is able to say, I kept going, and it was hard, but I kept going, and this is where I am now.
And not just that, but the impact that you and your story can have on others.